Hi, Susan Blue Robot here from susanbluerobot.com. I'm here today with another card making video. This one I found on many places over the net. Also, I did research in my pop-up books and to work out exactly how to do it. I can't give credit to one website because it's all over. So we'll get started. I'm using Make the Cuts Pop-Up Card Studio, as well as Make the Cut, and here's the card that I'm going to be doing, showing that you don't only have to have the planes at a 90-degree angle. This one is freestanding, as long as this works because it's joined to the one that is out from the back. If it was on the back, I tried a few of them and it just didn't flop down enough to go to the plane. So I'll still work on that and get back to you on that, but this one works because you are out from the back of the plane, and this is the angle that you can go on to. So we'll get started. I'm working on a card of 5 inches by 5 inches, and for starters I'm going to work on a plane of 3.3828. Now I'm doing that because that's how I found it worked better. I know it's a strange number, especially for me, because I like even numbers and then altering them. And I'll bring in a square, and I want that square to be 4 inches wide. With the lock undone, you go 4, enter, 0.5, enter, and I want that on a y-axis of an x-axis of 0.5 and a y-axis of 3, enter. So that is now on the axis that I want. Now we go to a plane of 1.25, 0.25, enter, and we now need to bring in another square, and we want that square to be 3.5 wide, 3.5 wide, enter, and 1.68 high, 1.68 high, enter. We want that in the center, and we want that to the bottom plane. And now we want to go to an axis of 3 inches, plane of 3 inches, and we need to bring in another square. We need that square at 3 point wide and 0.5 high. Enter, and we need that in the center and down to the bottom plane. So here we have what we've got so far. We've got this one, which is going to be free hanging, held up by this, and then we've got this one here. So now what we do is we push on the space bar to get to the other planes, and I'm going to put my 2-point rec anchors in, 1/8 of an inch, auto quad, and I'm going to go along and put these in. We'll move this up so it's in your view, and we go across, put that one in, hold the control shift, scroll up. we put this one in, and we scroll up and we put the top one in. So that's putting 3 in. Hope. So here's what we have. You go down and down and down. Okay, now I hit the panic button and I'll go back to the front. Now that is more or less our typewriter. We're going to go onto this plane, hold the D key down and go onto this plane. We're going to bring in a square, and we want that square we want it narrow, not that narrow. We want the square at a height of 0.2, no, 0.02, and we want it, get the snapping off, that's not helping. Right, we want that at a width of 2.75. 2.75, enter, and we need that a ½ inch down from the top, from this piece. So as long as that's in the middle, and I want that 1 inch from the ½ inch down here. So I want it at 2. So that's about right on that line there. Okay, so now what we do is we select both of them and then we go join. So now that just now has the slit in there. When we do a virtual snapshot, there's a little slit in there. And we also do a print preview, so I can show you a bigger version of it. So we have a slit in across here at the halfway mark. So now what we do, now we go to hit the space bar and you go to that plane, and we're going to build this part, and then we're going to take it over to make the cut. So what I'll do is I'll bring in a rounded rectangle, a rounded square, and I want this 2 inches high by 3 inches wide. Then I want to bring in a rounded rectangle and turn that 90 degrees, and I want this 3 inches wide. Because that will sit the other side and will probably make it a bit narrower. And see how we've got that just either side of this. Now I'm going to give a decent spacing between here, so it has the movement to drop down to that lower platform. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in auto quad, and I'm going to join here where the slip would be. I'm going to select everything on that line and do in the middle. Now if you notice, I put that in the middle. Oh, select these two first, do them to the right. Now I'll select them all and put them in the middle. And you see my slots on the other plane are a bit too wide. I will go back and fix that. But while these are selected, I'll go weld. And now this becomes your slice form part to go in and work the mechanism. So I'm going to hold the D key down. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to break them two apart because I'd already joined them. And we're just going to do that in a bit. And we're going to make sure it's in the middle. Then we're going to lower that back to the bottom. Oops, and lower this one back to the bottom. And that's fine because we've got this much hanging over this side and this much hanging over this side for the mechanism. Maybe I would just make that a bit narrower, but at the moment what I'll do is I'll take this aside, go back to this plane, select that, make it narrower, make sure it's in the center, and then I'll just bring this back in, and there we have it. There's your piece that's going to then flop down to the bottom plane. Now if I get this here, I'm not quite happy with that. I'm just going to tweak that out there. Oh, too much. Tweak that out there. See, just easily fixed. So we're going to now go, this is complete over here. No, it's not. But we want to take this over to make the cut. Once we know that this is going to be the exact size card that we want, we're going to cut this. We're going to take that into a make the cut project, and we're going to go paste in place. That is your piece. Will not be cut with the rest of the card if you're going to cut it straight from the pop-up card studio. It will be cut here and you make your lettering and stuff for here. So we go back here, and now we need the shaping for where the paper and the keys are working. So we're going onto this plane here, holding the D key down, go to this plane here, and we bring in an oval. We turn that 90 degrees. And we go copy that, paste that, and we make this one bigger. We put that in the center, and we select this one, put that in the center, and we select those two, and lasso around them, and I go weld. Then, after I've done weld, I then grab my cropping tool, and I go from the back out. I crop them till I hit the dotted line, so they're now cropped. I go back to the select tool, select both of them, and I do a Boolean join. Not that one, I think it's the difference, apply. So there we now have our typewriter, and I make this part make the back part. So what we now have is we go to this one, I select them again, I go join, and then we'll do a a virtual snapshot on that, and that's what we have so far. And we've got this other bit made here for where your keys go. So while we are here, I'm going to hold the D key down. Don't do that. Back over here, hold the D key down. We go copy that, take this across to make the cut. We go paste in place, and we go back over to here. Hold the D key down, do a copy of that one. Take that back to make the cut. We go paste in place, so we have a copy of those two for our making this bit at the top, which will all be shown in a minute. So we now go export this as an SVG. Oh, I suppose we should also do a print preview. So we've got our score lines, where score lines would be, our cut lines, our slit. So everything's right. And now we go export to SVG, render to SVG, and we'll go 0106. And now we open up it now goes to that, close that, and we go import the SVG, and we find that. Right, here's our card, and this slots in there. When it's cut out, it slots in there, and then when it's opened, it'll flop down to this platform. So now the idea is we need to want to make the winder here, just this thing here, which is easy enough done. It's just going to be glued to this bit. So we'll lock this for the moment. Why do I feel like I just moved that? Because I did. We'll lock this for the moment. Lock. And we'll put this in place here. Now we need this bit. This bit's the important bit because we want to cut that from your spool to, now I want to make that a bit bigger here. So this spool thing sits around that nicely. So this will be the size of the black spool bit that we put on. So we'll go select them to both, and we'll go Boolean join. We don't want that one. I think it's the AB difference. We go apply. So this now becomes our spool bit, and when it's cut, it will glue onto just this part of the tab here. and it's slightly bigger so it doesn't look out of place. Then you bring in a rounded rectangle. I just held the control key down so I could get the shape that I wanted, and you put this at this end. Hold the control shift, take a copy of that and put it at that end. These are the winders. You select them all, do a top, then we bring in a square to just join them together. So we put that there. Control Shift, put them there. We select all of them and nope. Select all of them. We do a horizontal, clicking on the H to align them all horizontal, and then we do a weld. So now that becomes your spool where your paper would go into in a typewriter. So that is now complete, other than we will bring in on a new layer. First off, I want to put that bit on its own layer. Clean up. And we'll bring a new layer in, and we want the bar to hold the paper, so I will bring in we want this bar here, we want a copy of that over here, and we want a copy of that, turn it 90 degrees. And we take this sideways, we'll take it past that, and we'll add a teardrop. Onto the end here. Turn it. And with that, we select them all. Of course, you can take your time and make this neatly. And we go weld. So that's the return carriage plus the thing to hold the paper in. So we have that. Then it's a matter, now I'm not going to sit here and make the keys. But here are the keys. Now, I'll put them all on their own. Lock them. So it's just a matter of putting your keys in on a rounded rectangle to make sure that they fit on your keypad, just like that. So it's just a rounded rectangle, and then you duplicate your keys and put them in. Then I just went along and put the letters in. So that's all. Well, it takes time, but it's all just normal using Make the Cut. So these are the pieces that you end up with. So you will cut this bit and this bit out of your main colour. You'll do a backing of your card, and then you have all these pieces. This is print and cut, or if you're crazy enough to cut out all those individual letters, but bear in mind they're very small because this is only less than 3 inches wide here. So I did a print and cut on this. And then you cut this out of the black and this out of the contrasting grey. Now, I will go ahead. I don't have a video of this, but I have my normal. This is what it looks like. Right, so I have all these pieces cut out, this piece in the grey, the black, the normal colour of the typewriter, and you print and cut, and these 2 pieces, and this is how this is folded. That's just normal as it comes out the machine. I did my print and cut, then I joined it on to this piece here. Now, I folded just the one end here. Just folded that over. This end is not folded over. Then I tuck this end that's not folded over into the slot. Then I tuck this end that is folded over with the fold into the slot. Then I go around to the back and open the fold. So now that is just loosely in there, and this is what I mean by it's back from the back. So the mechanism works. So when it shuts, this just pushes it up to normal, and then when it opens, it goes down to this platform here. So then I just add this spool at the back here, like that, and then I have to put this onto this back spool, but only glue it this end and this end. The reason being is you want to stick your paper in under here, and then you can just put a little dab of glue under there so your paper doesn't fall out. So that's just glued at this end and this end, and then it's glued into your card, ready for the paper to go in. And you've seen all these photos now, so then it just works like a normal thing. This just flaps up and down as it opens and shuts, and it doesn't go down any further than this platform here because that is what holds it up, and it gives you that angle there. So it just shows that even though you've got 90 degrees here and 90 degrees there, you can have other angles, providing at this moment, until I work it out, providing that it is out from the back. And I'd love to see what other ideas you have with this slice form angles, adding them into your pop-ups, like for roofs and other things like that. I'd love to see what you all come up with. And then you just add your paper with your wording on under there, and I've just glued this paper just there and just there at the back, so it doesn't fall out in the envelope. And there you have your pop-up card with your angle using the slice form idea. So this has been Susan Blue Robot at susanbluerobot.com. If you would like to purchase Make the Cut or Pop-Up Card Studio, please, if you could use the links from my blog, it will help support my blog and give me lots more toys to play with to share with you. Thanks for visiting, and bye for now.